Hi everyone. If you've watched all of my videos for the different options that we are offering at Sixth Form Science, and I apologise about repeating myself, but make sure if you're considering an option in science to watch all of them as I talk about the individual sort of careers, degrees and advice about each of the sciences that we offer here. In this video, I'm going to talk about A-level physics, my absolute favourite, of course, and look at my background. We can study aspects of astrophysics and space. Where else could you study about that and the universe? So without further ado, I'm just going to present my screen. And take you to a presentation. That was chemistry, my second favorite. Don't tell the biologists. And here we go. So this is A-level physics at Lamworth High School 2021. So the first thing to note, it's a full A-level and the exam board is WJEC. It will be, similar to the structure of the other two if you've watched the other two videos. Entry requirements for all our A-level sciences mean that you need to get a minimum of a B grade in the science that you want to study if you take triple. So a B grade in GCSE physics, for example. Or a B grade in science if you study double science, but that has to be through higher tier papers. So double check with your teacher if you were due to sit a higher tier paper, as I am aware that you will not be sitting exams this year now. And for A-level physics, we would ideally want to have at least a B grade in GCSE maths. And that's because there is a lot of maths in physics, as I'm sure you already know from GCSE. And, in order to be able to be most successful, you should really have a B grade or better in both physics and maths to be able to succeed in the course. Okay. How is it assessed? Again, exactly the same as biology and chemistry. You have 2 exams in year 12, which give you your AS level, which is half of a full A level. And if you did want to continue on to year 13, then you would sit a further 2 exams in year 13 and a practical assessment, which will give you your full A level in science, in physics. That is called an A2 level. So who teaches the course? Well, that will be Mr. Allen and myself. We share the course, so you'll have both of us in year 12 and both of us in year 13. And these are some of the topics you will study. So in unit 1, you will study motion, energy and matter. And currently that is a unit is taught by Mr. Allen. Okay, so you'll learn a lot more about velocity, acceleration, displacement, scalars and vectors. You'll learn about all the different stuff to do with motion, then on to energy, kinetic energy, and also some aspects of matter. So you learn about different types of solids, and there's a few topics on that, and even going into particle physics. So you will actually learn about what makes up atoms in more detail than just protons, electrons and neutrons. You break it down even further into studying some really exotic particles such as quarks and looking at what makes up matter. Then in unit 2, which is what I will be teaching you guys in year 12, which is electricity and light. Within this, we will study, first of all, a lot about electricity in more detail, which you studied in year 10. But this time we'll be learning about things like potential dividers, and we're learning about all the different sort of mathematical relationships between stuff like current, voltage, power, all that kind of stuff that you've already done a little bit of in year 10 or year 9. And then we will move on to light and waves, and we will look at how light behaves and how waves behave. Okay, and we will look at some incredibly famous experiments like the Young's double slit experiment, and look at diffraction gratings. And we will go on to then looking at lasers and even the photoelectric effect, which is what Einstein won his Nobel Prize in physics for back in 1921. So we will then go on to unit 3 and 4 in year 13, where you'll study oscillations and nuclei with Mr. Allen, fields and options with myself. And the options bit is that the final topic is an optional topic. And as a school, we are quite flexible, which means that the option will suit the class depending on, kind of what suits the interest of the group. So we make a bit of a decision on that, but we also support you if you wanted to choose another optional topic to study. So you've got a lot more choice here, and you get to study some really interesting aspects. You'll notice that out of all of that, I didn't mention my favorite because I wanted to save it till last, but you will learn about space. You will learn about, in the fields and options topic, you'll learn about dark matter. You will learn about, a little bit about the Higgs boson, the universe. You'll be learning about galaxies. You'll be learning about stars in the first topic, your first unit, sorry. You'll be learning about, so much to do with astrophysics, which is, obviously my interest. But it could be something that you're fascinated with. But you might be fascinated by electricity. You might be fascinated by light and waves and lasers. So there's a lot really to suit the different part of physics that you're really interested in or passionate about. So why choose it? What are the course highlights? Well, in physics A level, we've got, as I said, huge range of new interesting topics, massive questions. If you like to, think of answers to very, very big questions like, dark matter, the universe, the existence of matter in the first place, how did the universe begin, how will it end, all those kinds of things, particle physics, what makes up everything. So we're talking about the physics from things that are so tiny to the physics of things that is just, phenomenally and unimaginably large. So very interesting topics to learn about. We've got an annual trip that you go on. Again, sorry if you've watched the rest of my videos. You'll know that I've mentioned this in all of them, but we do take all, or some students from all A levels and BTECs to the annual trip to Science in Health Live, which is at the Heath Hospital in Cardiff University. We take you there. You get to see some of the amazing equipment that they have in the hospital. Here's a anti-gravity treadmill with one of our former pupils on the trip. And we get to see different parts of the hospital and gain a bit of an insight into, if you're interested in physics, per se, then you'd be looking at some of the medical imaging equipment and some of the medical physics stuff, which allows us to diagnose certain conditions and diseases. There's excellent further study and career opportunities. Physics is an extremely sought after A level, so degrees, really like to see an A level in physics. There's a reason for that, though. It is quite hard. I'm not going to lie. It's a difficult subject, and it's not one that you should go into if you're not passionate or not 100% motivated and dedicated to the course, because it is a tricky one. And you can ask any former pupil, and they will probably tell you that it's a very rewarding subject, but it is one that is tricky at times, and you would need to put in quite a lot of study and hard work to achieve those top grades, but it definitely is worth it. Definitely is worth it. There is a lot of practical physics that we do, a lot more than you would do at GCSE. That's one of the things that I don't like about GCSE physics, is that there's a limited amount of practical work that you do. But when you get to A level, there's a huge number of practicals that you do. Here is a laser experiment that I mentioned that we do with light, where we use diffraction gratings to be able to split light up into bright fringes. So we'll be, like I say, in the lab, but in the dark, completing some of these experiments. There are a wide range of practicals that you will do, though. A huge number of experiments that I couldn't even think of off the top of my head, all of them. But if you've got any specific questions about what you'll study, what experiments you might do, then please send me an email, or Mr. Allen an email, as we will answer those. So let's have a look at the further study and career opportunities. There's a lot of posters here that I put around because, physicists predict, but they also design. You could go on, and I know, some people that I went to university with that have gone on and they work in air traffic control. I've got some that work in music, and some of obviously the acoustic side of physics. I know some people that have gone on and went on to be a pilot. I've have some people that I knew at university that have gone on, and they do the light shows for certain concerts. So there's huge different careers you could go on, even game design and things like that. Physicists they solve problems, but importantly, I guess, It isn't missing an L. This is earn. Physicists and people with physics degrees and physics A levels can earn quite a good amount of money. Going through those careers that I mentioned, as if you're successful in achieving good grades in physics A level, go on and do a degree, and you could be looking at some very, very, high paying jobs. So, popular degrees for students with A level physics. Well, you could go on to engineering degrees. That could be general engineering, aeronautical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, possibly chemical engineering if you do chemistry A level as well. You could go into straight physics. I know that Mr. Allen did a degree in physics and maths. I did a degree in astrophysics, so physics and astronomy, and you could do medical physics. You could even go into economics, accountancy, law. There's so many different degrees that you could go on with a degree with an A level in physics, because it is a very challenging A level where you'll be solving lots of problems, and good problem solvers make good economists. Good problem solvers and good physicists and mathematicians make very good accountants. And obviously, if you know lots about the laws of physics, then it goes without saying that you could apply that to normal law. If you have any questions, please email Mr. Allen or Mr. Winship. You can email sallen@lamwinhigh.org or jwinship@lamwinhigh.org if you've got any questions at all. If you're not sure which A level you want to choose, if you want to take a couple of science A levels, just email anyone from the science department, really. We'll talk to each other and get you the best answer and the best advice to suit your own circumstances. Thank you.